classics. These are the recipes that stand the test of time, and for good reason. They're delicious. We love them, and I've already made some spectacular ones, like my Caesar salad, and then turkey divane, a classic casserole. Well, what would be the signature classic dessert if it weren't chocolate blackout cake? My method for this cake is a little bit backwards. Typically, you start with butter and sugar that you beat together, and then you alternate your wet and dry ingredients, and then you add in your chocolate at the end. I actually start with the dry ingredients. I'm going to sift 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour into my bowl, and I'll just give it a little sift just to make room for the 1 cup of cocoa powder. This is regular cocoa powder, not Dutch process. And 2¼ teaspoons of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then to that 1½ teaspoons of fine salt. And now I add my sugars to the dry mixture. First, 1¼ cup of white sugar. I know these are large-scale proportions, but this is a large-scale cake. And 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar. It adds a molasses depth to the taste of the cake. Now first I'll give this a little mix to blend it. And now I actually add the butter to the dry mix as opposed to the other way around. And I need 1 cup of unsalted butter. There we go. So I've got that cut in pieces. And now I let the mixer do the work, and on low speed at first, cut in the butter into the mixture. There we go. And now for the moisture, 2 eggs, and 2¼ cups of buttermilk. Now it's very important when you're making a chocolate cake, because I'm using melted chocolate, that all of the ingredients are the same temperature as that melted chocolate. So at the very least, room temperature. I'll break my eggs into my buttermilk and add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Just whisk this together. So the best way to keep your bowl in place is I wrap a damp towel around the bottom of the bowl. I'll add the liquid slowly and on low speed first. And there's something about this method, starting with the dry and then adding the liquid last, that makes a great cake batter. I want to increase the speed to high and whip the batter for about 3 minutes. And that's a good looking cake batter. But we're not done yet. 6 ounces of bittersweet chocolate that I melted first before I started pulling my other ingredients together. I've got my 3 cake pans, 8-inch cake pans that I've greased the sides of, put a piece of parchment in the bottom of, and then greased the parchment too. And I like to use a measuring cup to dole out or portion out the batter. That way, I know I get it evenly divided. And I just spread the cake batter into the edges of the pan. I've got my oven preheated to 350, and these cakes take 40 to 50 minutes to bake. And a very important step is to actually let the cake cool at least 30 minutes before you run a knife around the outside and turn it out to cool completely. And after these cake layers have cooled, then I can make the fudgy frosting and assemble the chocolate blackout cake. And you know what? It just happens to be a birthday cake for Michael.